What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy Haslab exclusive Victory Saber. So this was a crowdfunded project by Hasbro on their Hasbro Pulse website, and it did get backed, I think it was over a year ago, or about a year ago, and we finally got it here in hand. And they actually have another crowdfunded project going on right now, which is Death Source, which is his nemesis in the show Transformers Victory. So there's actually a lot to go over here in this review. I'm going to try to get through it, but I don't want this video to be too long. So if I move quickly, that's the reason why. But I do want to show you all the features and everything this is capable of doing. Now, with that said, we're going to start off with the Victory Leo figure. Then we'll move on to the Star Saber. Then we'll go to the combined mode. So with this guy, there is actually a little bit of work to do out of box. Come to the back here. It does come with some stickers for him. So you get these stickers here. There's an A and a B. A goes on this side, B goes on this side. And I'm not sure why they didn't just put this on for you. And there it is with the stickers installed on both sides. Very frustrating. Not only is it hard to put on, but as you do it, the color starts coming off. So this foil starts showing through. And now you can see little pieces of foil. I almost was going to feel like taking it off, but there you go. Not a great start, but let's continue on with this figure. He does have some paint on him. You got the gold chrome here for the chest, red paint here, little gray paint here for the Gatling guns, yellow here, red there, and you got the red here on the wings. They should have just painted this. I don't know why they gave these stickers instead of painting it. Maybe they realized they forgot to do that, but gosh, that's unfortunate. Now, another thing you want to do kind of out of the box is give him his gun. So here's his gun. It is actually painted white and red, so pretty much fully painted. Those are going to plug in right here. And I don't think they're side position. I think they're universal. But there he is with those. Now it looks kind of ugly from the front because there's these waffles. So I recommend you just lift them up and do this, and then it looks fine. So that's pretty cool. You get that feature there. You can also take the V-Lock cannon here, and this will plug in right here. And now he has this. Pretty cool. You can sort of almost like he's firing it or whatever, but that's a cool little touch. Or if you don't like that, you can actually take it to the back here. Open up this panel right here. And then you can take this, fold that down, and you'll get that little notch there. It'll fit over this. And it's easier if you slide it down, but there you go. So you can store it on his back, and now he can have that weapon. Let's go over his articulation. So the head can rotate around. We'll get these out of the way. Head can rotate around. These horns can actually move in and out. It's for transformation, but not really any up and down. If you try to lift it, it will unpeg there, but that's really the articulation for the head. Shoulder rotate all the way around. These are all friction joints, by the way. There's no ratchets up here. Arm goes out to there. Signature elbow, but you get to well past 90 degrees, all the way up, basically. You have a rotation at the wrist. You can't put any standard weapons in there, so this is Star Saber's gun, actually, but he can hold it and use it if you want to. Coming down, you have a no rotation at the waist, just do the way it's configured. Ratcheted hip gets you up to there, back to there until it's hindered. Now if you take this off and you fold that back up, put these back down, now you can get the leg all the way back. Out to the side, yeah, we don't want those coming out. Out to the side, up to there. Now if you unpeg this, which is part of the transformation, you get a little bit more. But coming down to here, you have a single jointed knee, gets you 90 degrees. Oh, rotation at the thigh. Forgot to mention that. And this came unpegged. And you have not an ankle tilt, you have a toe. So the toe goes back and forth and it tilts to the side. I'm glad they did that. I was worried this didn't have any tilt at all. But due to the way they did that, you can get his tilts out to the side. So there you go. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And he is kind of a Voyager scale. Not quite leader, but he is bigger than the Voyager Optimus Prime here. Alright, now let's get him transformed into his lion mode. So go ahead and flip the arms around. You can see that's going to make the paws, of course. Come to the lion head here. You can lift this up. You're going to lift out these main pieces here. These are going to fold down. So this panel right here in the black, it's going to fold down and cover his face. And then these horns are going to fold down, and then you can open up the mouth like that. And then peg that back in. These tend to just fold in on their own, so you kind of have to just get them out. But come to the back here. These legs are going to open up here, and you're going to collapse this down, and then peg that back in. The peg is actually going back into the bottom, so make sure it actually clicks. This one's a little tough to get. Sometimes they don't want to go. So just look where it is, and then adjust accordingly. Right, then you can go ahead and take the legs and peg them together like this. Come to here, you're going to rotate this down, rotate the leg down. Same on this side, rotate this down, rotate the leg down. Come to the back, there's actually a little tail back here. I don't know if it's a tail, but that's what they're using as a tail. And that'll just stick out like that. And there we have Victory Leo in his lion mode. Pretty cool looking. Here's the back. Kind of weird back here, but you got some paint detail here. You got red in that mouth, painted white teeth, blue eyes. You can still see, that sticker detail is kind of messed up there, but nice painted cannons on the front here. He does tend to kind of fold down on these legs. Like, they don't really hold him up because they're just on pins. I think it really needed a ratchet, unfortunately, but it is how it works. Let's go over his articulation. The head can rotate, but as you do that, you tend to fold these mane in. I wish he would just like stay. If you pull too hard, they just pop off the pins, so just leave it. Legs rotate back and forth. The wing can go up and down here. Legs go out to the side, and then you can bend all the way up to there. And you have a little bit of gappiness down here just due to where the actual hand is. For these, they go back and forth here, and then the paw itself can go forward. So you can get him kind of walking, but not really. All right, now let's get Victory Leo into his jet mode, or space jet mode. You can close that up. These are going to flip around to the back. Pick up this head, and that's going to fold back like this. His arms are going to rotate up. And we want to get it so that, and you can open up the wings here. There's a tab on the back of his elbow. That tab is going to end up in the wing right here. So get that back, tab that in. And then this is just going to sit up like this and square up. It's not the best look, but that's how it goes. Same for this side, open this up, bring this all the way back, tab that in. Bring this forward, and that's kind of the front. Make sure you close these main, otherwise you have a little trouble. All right, now we'll come to this side, and these are going to rotate and tab back in, so make sure you tab the foot back into the thigh there. And that's going to sit like this. Same on this one. That's going to sit like that. And then go ahead and open this back up, fold these bits in. All right, and one last step here I forgot to do is you're going to open up this white panel. That's going to sit down there, and then the head's going to sit there. And then you're going to take the V-Lock cannon, and you want this facing upwards. There's a slot right there that's going to go into this tab, And then there's a slot right there that's going to go to that tab. So line those up and get that on there. And there is your space jet mode. You can still pose these things, but I don't know. Looks okay from the back, but this front is just really awkward. Now you could leave these out if you want. I don't know if that's better or worse, but there it is. And here is Star Saber, the main event. And he does have some paint on him as well. You got the, again, gold chrome here. There's a couple of scratches on mine, but it's pretty good overall. Red and white paint here on the shoulders and up here as well. In box, it came with these folded down, so you're just going to fold those up. A little bit of silver paint there. Blue paint here, which we'll see more in the V-Star mode. Yellow paint on the knees, blue paint here, and then some yellow paint on the hip skirts and on the crotch area. So overall, there is some paint detail on him, and it looks good. Now, the head actually looks pretty darn good. You got some blue for the eyes, silver for the face mask, and then yellow for the head crest. The ears are unpainted. You can pose them up and down. Those look good. Speaking of articulation, the head can go up to there. It does break the sculpt because you can see the head underneath. So if you go too far, it starts to see that. Down to there. The ears can rotate all the way around. You can do the firing the guns this way if you want. The ears go all the way out to there, so you can get them all the way flat. Or you can put them, you know, kind of at an angle. He always had them kind of like at an angle, so that's where I prefer to have them. The shoulders rotate all the way around on a ratchet joint. All the ratchets are kind of soft ratchets, not really hard ratchets. But shoulder goes out to there, or say the elbow goes out to there. Rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you not really past 90 because of the sculpt, so it kind of stops right there. Yeah, rotation at the wrist. The fingers are all connected on the single pin. It does have that automorphing feature where the inside of the hand kind of rotates away. So that's the peg, or the hole for the weapon pegs. Pretty good looking hand, but I just wish they had individual fingers. Coming down at the waist, you have a rotation here. You have a small ab crunch, so it's actually detaching from here, and you get quite a bit. So it goes all the way down there. You can lock that back in. Getting it back down is kind of tough. It gets sort of caught up. So just be careful putting it back, but that's not the best feeling joint there. The hip skirts will move out of the way. You have a ratcheted leg that goes up to there. Back to here, hindered by the sculpt here. Out to the side on a ratchet. Rotation at the thigh around a universal. Single jointed knee gets you 90 degrees exactly. You have ankle tilt, but it's very limited. That's it. That's what you get. You get a toe tilt up. If you go past this, you start transforming, you can go down, but yeah, not a lot on those ankles. But you also, as you start messing with stuff, this sometimes comes out, so you just gotta make sure those are secure in there. So you do get a bunch of accessories here with Star Saber. First of all, here's the sword hilt, and make sure this is pulled down because that actually fills in that hole there. So you want to take this blade, and that's just going to insert right here. There's his blade, and that will go into his hand like so. Not a bad looking sword. Here's his shield painted in blue, and then the red and white symbol there. It does come with this piece, which is obviously the handle. So this can go in his hand. The way they recommend is you rotate the hand to the side, and then you insert it that way. And I guess he has a better hold on it that way. So pretty good looking shield overall. You can do a lot of stuff with this. So first of all, you can take this, and there's two slots right here. You can put this on the side of the arm. So if you prefer that look, you can have that kind of on the side. You can also take this off And let's say you want to use his blaster here. It's just in a gray plastic. This is very, I don't know, compared to these other two things, this just feels out of place with the gray plastic. But put that in his hand, and then these can store away. So you're going to take this and insert it down into here. It's going to tab into the top. It actually has a groove that fits perfectly into this little handle. Then this is going to go on the side of his arm right here. And now he can stow the sword and the shield on his arm, which is pretty cool. Kind of like that. A quick size comparison. There it is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. Pretty much towers over him. Looks good. I would have preferred even more height, but I think it works with the retail line. And for another quick comparison, there it is next to the Iron Trans version of Star Saber. It's a little bit stylized, but you can see this thing towers over it. This is not really going to fit with an MP collection. There were a lot of people that asked me about that, which is why I'm showing you this. Never meant to fit with that. It's meant to fit the retail line, but there you go for a comparison. All right, now let's get him transformed into his vehicle mode. And there is actually a inner vehicle mode, so we'll take a look at that first. But you're just going to pop the head off of the smaller head. You can see it's just sitting on top of it. And this is actually going to transform itself. So put the face up like that. Rotate these forward. And that's basically ready to go. So you can set that aside. This is going to release. If you open up this backpack here, there's a release button for this. It kind of just comes out on its own. What's really holding it is these gray pieces here. It's tabbed into these gray pieces. But in theory, you press the button, it releases it from there, and then you release it from those two gray pieces, and you can lift this whole piece out. And of course, this is Saber robot mode. So you're going to open up this. You can separate these legs. These are going to come down. Open up the legs here. That'll allow you to unaccordion this, and then this can come back down and peg in. Then you can bring this knee piece up, and then bring the toe piece up. All right, so same on this side. I'll just show you one more time. Open up this back piece, accordion this down, bring this in, and tab that in. Bring up his knee cap, bring up his toe. Come to the arms here, fold out the hands. And the arms have to kind of go up like this on these pieces here. Gosh, hopefully I wasn't off camera. And there you go. There is Saber in his robot mode. He's got some nice paint on him. Got the light blue with the Autobot logo there. White paint here. Yellow paint on the head crest. Translucent blue for the eyes, silver paint for the mouth, a little bit of silver here, yellow here on the knees. Here's the back. Pretty cool looking. For articulation, the head can rotate. It doesn't go up or down, anything like that. Shoulders actually can go up and down on this joint here. They're also on a ball joint, so you can get it out on the ball joint as well. Continuing down, you have a rotation at the bicep. Single joint elbow gets you 90 degrees. The wrist can just go in and out just due to transformation. Rotation at the waist, although it's a little bit hindered by his backpack, but you can get that rotation. Legs go up to there, back to there, out to the side. 90-degree bend at the knee. And you actually do get ankle tilt. Just ever so slight ankle tilt there. And then the toe can tilt down. And Saber here can also use the weapon. It kind of looks ridiculous, but it's just too big. But he doesn't have his own weapon, so he can use this weapon if you want him to. So let's get him into his vehicle mode. Go ahead and fold these hands back in. Fold the feet back in. We're going to take the head and bring this down. And here we'll reveal the Brain Master. So let's get this out and I'll show you that. He does actually make the face of Saber. So there's the face. If you fold that down, it'll flip up his head. His head doesn't really have any painted detail It does have sculpted detail, but no painted detail. It's got the gold paint there for the chest, and a little bit of red here for the feet. Arms do go back and forth on a ball joint. The legs can bend up, and actually we're going to get him into position here. So you want him like that. And that's what he looks like. So we'll set him aside. And now we'll finish the transformation on this guy. Go ahead and rotate the head in. This is going to come back up and peg into the top. These legs are going to accordion back down. So open this up, accordion down, same on this side. Close that up. Tab the legs together. You can pull down these wings. So there's actually two pieces of wing here. There's a white piece on the bottom and then the red and white on the top. So you kind of want it like that. Just due to the articulation there, you can move these boosters, but you want them straight. Come to here. These are going to accordion down and tab into the side of the legs. Bring it all the way down and tab it in. Same on this one, all the way down. Tab it in. Open up the wings. Then we're going to take the sword here and we're going to take out the blade. And I actually haven't found a place for the blade. I looked through the instructions. I tried to just find a place. There's not really a place to put it. So you can kind of stick it into Star Saber when you get into V-Star mode, but there's not really a place. All right, collapse this down so it looks like this. And then this is going to plug in right here on the front. And just make sure you get that all the way in. And there is Saber in his little jet mode. Pretty cool. Got some yellow, black. You still have the gold there on the top. It does look like a jet. You can open the cockpit, and yes, of course, you can put the Brainmaster in there. You can sit in there. There he is. Close up the cockpit, and now you can fly around. There is red paint here on the cockpit. Pretty cool. All right, now we'll work on the main body here. So go ahead and lift the arms up. Fold these hands inwards. Open up the panels on the side here. You're going to accordion this down and then get that back inside. Same on this one. Accordion this down and get that panel in. If you don't have it all the way in, you'll have a little bit of trouble, so make sure it's collapsed all the way before you try to put this panel back in. All right, next we're going to take these hip skirts, fold those all the way up. They sit on the side. Come to the legs here. Legs going to fold up and then down here. So get those out to the sides. Come to the inside here, open this up. This is going to accordion down on that leg and then close that back up. Get the arm, and it's going to tab into the little hook that came out of the leg. And then you're going to come to the side here, and that's going to tab in here and here. All right. So same on this side. Bring this up, bring this down. Make sure it's all the way horizontal. Open up this panel. This is going to accordion down and then collapse back in. This is going to tab into the side of the leg. So make sure you get that. And then on the side here, make sure you get those two tabs in. Come to the bottom here. These feet are going to fold in and then in. In and then in. Fold these down, fold this down so that the top, I mean, you can kind of put it however you would like, but something like that. This panel is going to sit right here. And basically, there's the main jet. Now, of course, we need this guy, or else this isn't really Star Saber, right? So fold these up. Fold these, I believe, down. So it should sit like this. And this is going to plug in right here. So there's a little spring-loaded piece, and that's going to fit right in between these pieces on the legs. So get that backed up into there. Just slide it in, and then you can push up a little bit because it's going to tab into the top as well. Right. And then you can close these down on top so they just sit flush against there. And we'll fix these wings. And one last step here, you can come to the bottom, open up these little sleds or skids or whatever. And now you can sit like this. Come and get your shield here. This is going to tab in right here. So just tab that in to there. A whole bunch of weapons on him, so you can take this weapon here, and that can go there. And then, of course, there's options. You can do it however you like. You take the V-lock cannon, and that can go there. You can open that up or close it or whatever you want to do. And of course, you're going to take the head, and that's going to sit right here on this piece. And now we have a more complete looking V-Star. Pretty awesome. I mean, he pretty much fits everything with the exception of this. And like I mentioned earlier, I couldn't really find a spot for it. You could just sort of, I don't know, stick it in there or something. It's not really a designated storage spot, but. All right, and there are both jets together and looks pretty cool. But now it's time to combine them together. I guess I was calling this guy the V-Star jet, but together they are called the V-Star jet. So let's go ahead and take this panel off, or the shield off. Just set this up for now because we're going to have to combine it here. And there is a problem actually with this figure, so I'll show you in a second. But you're going to come to here, you're going to bring that panel down so it sits like that. And this is actually going to go into here. These tabs here on the side are actually going to fit into here. Now here's where I've got a problem. So this tab is on the top. This tab's on the bottom. So one of those is wrong. So what ended up happening is they put two of the same panel. And because of that, you can't tab this together. I don't know if this is a mass release issue or just me, but that is definitely unfortunate. So I'll just show you this one that's on the top obviously can plug in, but this one that's on the bottom, it sits loose. So if I show you from here, you can see this one's not tabbed in anything. It's actually kind of bowed out, and that's just unfortunate. But you're gonna bring this back. There's two tabs on the back of this. They're gonna go into here, and that helps secure it a little bit more. This is a very tight tab, so you got to hold it in place. And unfortunately, just due to the issue I have, the QC issue of that panel being wrong, it does flop around a little bit there. And then this should sit flush on top. And there's your V-Star jet complete. Pretty darn cool. It does still sit on the same little sleds. Here's the back. You can kind of get these folded down, but pretty cool. And of course, you can still use all those blast effects just like you could before. You also can still use the V-Star and get that onto here, and get his gun onto here, and all sorts of options for display. It really, really looks cool. You can still use the flight stand here if you want to. And that'll just sit on there. There he is on that flight stand. Really nice display option for the V-Star jet. Now before we get Star Saber fully back into his robot mode, I did want to show you there is an actual base mode here. I don't know how good it is, but there is one. So you rotate the arms forward. You can see I have the arms collapsed down. You're going to have this angled upwards like that. The feet are going to be folded in like this. You're going to bring the legs out to the side. And you can lift up these hip skirts and bring this back piece down like this. And this is another piece that doesn't quite work. The shield, there's two little slots here. They're supposed to tab into this. Unfortunately, they don't. I don't know if it's a molding issue. Oh, and also move this out of the way. Put this in the middle. And then these are supposed to tab in. But unfortunately, they don't stay. So I can get it loosely sitting on here. And one other thing you can do with the base mode is display it with these mini robots here, the Minicons. And I didn't actually show these. So this is Holy. He's got some blue paint, yellow paint here, silver for the face. The head does rotate. The arms rotate on a ball joint. And these are very cheap, by the way, so don't expect a lot. The ball joints tend to pop off, but legs go up to there. The knees can bend. And yeah, they're not the best. But these can actually transform. So bring these arms down to his sides. Peg these feet together. And that'll come around. Get these in and plugged in, and then this will plug into the front, and there's your little police car. And that's kind of cool. And then here is Autobot Fire. He's got some blue paint on the head, some silver paint for the face, some silver blue paint here on the bottom, and then white for the rest. Here's the back. He kind of looks like an Inferno. But for this guy, you can take these legs, lift up this ladder here. You're going to rotate this to the front and then peg this together. And these will sit down in here. Bring this down and then bring these down to the sides. And there you have the fire truck, which is actually smaller than the car. You do have some, the ladder actually rotates and goes up and down. You can actually fold it up. But there you go for the base mode and the Minicons. All right, and there we have them back in their robot modes. Now, since this is probably what most people are going to do with these, they're going to take them out of the box and immediately combine them into the Victory Saber mode. I might as well show the full transformation. So let's start off with this guy here. So we're going to go ahead and come to here, unpeg the head. I'm going to slide this backpack off. So that's just attached like that. I'm going to take the arm, flip that around. It's going to flip around like this. Open up the wing. And just like we did in the jet mode for Victory Leo, we're going to peg that into the top there. And that's going to be the backpack. Right. Actually, this head, you're going to rotate around. It's going to fit back into here. Make sure you have the main closed, because that's going to sit. I always get this one mixed up. Yeah, it's going to sit down like that. And now we can attach this to his back. So rotate this around. Same on this one. And now it's ready to attach. So open this panel up. And there's a peg here and a tab there. So come to his back. There's a slot there and a tab. So get those lined up. Give that a firm push. And then tab in this bottom part here. And then these cannons are going to tab in right here. So get those pushed down. And we have that part done. So now let's work on this. This is going to split down the middle. Like that. Come to the inside here, you're going to fold out these feet. Fold in this peg, or this tab. Come to the bottom here. This is going to fold here. So you're going to unpeg it from back here. It's going to fold all the way around. We want to collapse this leg down and then tab that in. And this is the one that's a little tricky, so make sure you line that up. But it should end up like that. Fold in that foot if you haven't already. And then this tab right here is going to go into the bottom there. and that will make his foot. Come to the inside, open up that. There we go. And leave that down. And that's one foot done. So come to the bottom of his foot. You're going to fold this toe in, and you can see there's pegs are going to go on the back of here, and then this is going to fit over this. So you get the pegs on the back, and then this is going to fit over the top. And you know this goes on the outside, this yellow piece. Same on this one. And there you have Victory Saber, fully combined into this robot mode. Really cool looking. He is kind of lanky, but he always looks like that. You can use all the same accessories as you did before, so we can get the shield on here. I mean, you could do everything basically, but we'll get his sword in here. And I do like how all the weapons work in all the modes, so no matter which way you want to display it, you can. And of course the V-Lock cannon, which I think makes the most sense in this one, so I'm going to put that sword back here. Open this up, and that's going to peg into his arm like that. So it looks something like that. And now we can bring this up. Now if you want to bring this arm up, you do have to come back here, and I recommend using the release for the butterfly. Bring this down, and now you can have this straight back. So if you want to have that straight, that's kind of the best way to do it. Now we can be firing that cannon. The change to the articulation is just, instead of being down here, it's up here. You don't get a lot. Now you can unpeg this, and that can get you a little bit more, but it's just awkward the way it works. And I don't know if it's meant to do that, but you can sort of cheat and do that. A couple last features here. You can use the flight stand in the combined mode or in the Star Saber mode. Go ahead and take this, and this is going to flip to this side. Unpeg this from here, and you want this panel or this tab facing forward. This is supposed to peg onto here. It just doesn't really work. At least according to the book, it's supposed to go down like this. It sits very loosely on here. So just get it on like that. Forget it. I'm just going to leave it off. But it's supposed to go on there. And then this peg right here will fit into his butt like that. And now you can have him in a flight pose or whatever you need to do. That's pretty cool. The other thing you can do is, if you fold up this panel, which is already folded up, you can take the V-Lock cannon here. There's a tab or a peg right here. That will go into his back, and then he can hold on to that and store it there. You can also take the shield, and there's a little peg right there that fits into the back right here. Kind of a subtle little feature, but you can store that. Actually, you can store both things if you want to. So final recommendations on the Haslab Victory Saber. And this is kind of a moot point because the campaign is over, so you can't really buy this for retail price anymore. So this recommendation is probably for people who are either just waiting for their copy to arrive, or they're planning to buy it on the aftermarket on eBay or whatever other website. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5, which is a partial recommendation. I know there's going to be a lot of people surprised at that score, and I want to explain. So this figure does really well in the robot modes. The Star Saber, the Victory Leo, and the Victory Saber all are really cool. You get a ton of cool accessories. You get the V-Lock cannon, the gun, the shield, the sword, the blast effects, the stand here, which is really nice. And these mini-cons, which aren't very good. The quality is not very good on those, but I wasn't expecting a lot of those. But you get a lot of stuff. And it all works and integrates into the robot mode, so that's great. What doesn't work well is the quality. It comes in little dribs and drabs, but when you add it all together, it starts to take away from this figure. So number one issue is in the vehicle mode, because I have 2 of the same panels here, I can't get the legs pegged together with the fully combined V-Star mode. And so for that reason, it doesn't kind of hold together well. It just kind of it's just not quite right. I also have issues with some of the fitment on things. So the legs on the Victory Leo mode, in the Beast mode, they're kind of floppy. They're on pins, and you could probably put some Kiki in there. But for a premium figure like this at $180, I don't expect to do that kind of stuff. Same thing for the little bit here that's supposed to tab into the back. I mean, it's just a small little thing, but all those little things add up to kind of a frustrating experience, which you shouldn't be having for $180, right? This is a made-to-order product. The other thing is these stickers. I forgot to mention that. They're made out of foil and the paint comes off, so now I've got some stickers that look like they're falling apart. So all those little things, while taken on their own, aren't a big deal. Together, they take away from this figure, and that's why I partially recommend it. Now, if you're going to take this out of package, combine it into the Victory Saber mode, and leave it, I think you're going to be happy. It really does a good job in this mode, and this is what I think they concentrated on, is making it look good like this. So that's the strength of this figure. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.